Pay attention to the CCTV footage. September 15th, 2022. 10:34 p.m. corner of Riverside Avenue and Highway 9, Millbrook, Oregon. A woman walks alone on the sidewalk. Her name is Jessica Hayes. She is 26 years old. Barista at the Copper Bean just finished closing shift. What she doesn't know is that the vehicle approaching her has been circling this block for 52 minutes. In the next 9 seconds, she will make a decision that seems completely rational. She will accept a ride from a fire department paramedic. The question is not what happened next. The question is why the same paramedic responded to her medical emergency 4 weeks earlier. This is a story of how the man paid to save her had been hunting her since March. And when you see what investigators found in his storage unit 5 months later, you will understand why Jessica Hayes never made it home. Most people who watch this footage think the same thing. Wrong place, wrong time. A young woman walking alone after dark. A predator who spotted an opportunity. Random. That is what investigators believed for 7 weeks. Wrong. 4 weeks before this video, Jessica called 911 at 11:23 p.m. Someone had been knocking on her apartment door. 4 nights in a row. Same pattern. Always between 11 p.m. and midnight. No one there when she looked through the peephole. The responding ambulance came because she said she was having a panic attack. Paramedic Marcus Chen, 37 years old, 11 years with Millbrook Fire Department, 0 complaints. Community Outreach Coordinator, the guy who taught CPR classes at the senior center. He checked her vitals, calmed her down. He gave her his card. Call me directly if you need anything. She thanked him. She felt safe. For the next 26 days, Jessica did not hear any knocking on her door. But here's what she did not know. Those knocks were coming from someone with a key to the building's maintenance entrance. Someone who knew exactly which apartment was hers. Someone who had access to emergency call records. He was not responding to help her. He was a threat. And that 911 call was not the beginning of his interest in Jessica. It was the confirmation. Who was Jessica Hayes? She moved to Millbrook in February 2022. New beginning, quiet town, friendly neighbors. That is what the rental listing promised. She grew up in Portland, Oregon. She knew what danger looked like. Millbrook was supposed to be different. Population 41,000. Crime rate so low the community Facebook group complained about off-leash dogs. She got a job at the Copper Bean on Riverside Avenue. $13 an hour plus tips. The regulars loved her. One of those regulars was a paramedic. Came in every Tuesday morning around 7 a.m. Always ordered at the counter. Large black coffee, blueberry muffin. Left $7 tips on $9 orders. He never said anything inappropriate. Never made her uncomfortable. Just smiled. Asked about her weekend. Asked if she had any smoke detectors in her apartment. She told her coworker about him once. Said he seemed genuinely caring. But here's what Jessica did not know. That paramedic had been coming to the Copper Bean since before she started working there. He started coming every Tuesday in March, 2 weeks after she moved to Millbrook. 2 weeks after he first saw her at the laundromat, before she knew his name, before she knew he existed. He had already memorized her routine. Who was Marcus Chen? 3rd generation Millbrook. His father was a firefighter. His uncle was a fire chief. Everyone knew the Chen family. Everyone trusted them. Marcus was a favorite son. Eagle Scout. Volunteer coordinator. Married his college girlfriend at 26. Divorced by 32. No kids, no drama. His ex-wife Rachel moved to Seattle 4 months after the divorce. She never came back. When people asked about the marriage, she said the same thing. Some patterns you cannot ignore. Nobody asked what that meant. Here's what investigators found 13 months after Jessica disappeared. A storage unit in his name, locked, climate-controlled. Inside was a desktop computer. On that computer was a folder, hidden, password-protected. Inside that folder were 1,094 photographs of 27 different women, all brunette, all between 23 and 30, all living alone, all working evening shifts. 112 of those photographs were of Jessica Hayes. The first one was dated March 9th, 2022, her 4th week in town. She was folding laundry at the Coin Laundry on Oak Street. She had no idea someone was standing outside the window with a camera phone. That was 6 months before she called 911. 6 months before she knew his name. Here's what else was in that storage unit. A metal filing cabinet, 3 drawers, 27 folders, 1 for each woman. Color-coded, alphabetized, organized like a project, like a skill he had perfected over years. Jessica's folder was the thickest. 89 pages, handwritten, precise, no errors, no corrections, every entry dated, every observation timed to the minute. Page 1 was her full name, date of birth, driver's license number. Page 15 was a description of her vehicle registration. Page 31 was her schedule. Monday off, Tuesday opening, Wednesday closing, Thursday opening, Friday closing. Page 39 was a hand-drawn map of her walking route from the Copper Bean to her apartment. Every street, every shortcut, every security camera. Page 47 was the same map with markings, blue circles around 4 locations. The note next to each said the same thing. Blind spots. Page 64 was a list of her patterns. Always use the same parking spot. Row C, space 22. Always text while walking. Does not look up for 15 to 25 seconds at a time. Trusts first responders. Page 89 was the last page. One word, confirmed. That page was dated September 8th, 2022, 7 days before the CCTV footage. Let me take you back to that footage. September 15th, 10:34 p.m. Watch it frame by frame. Jessica exits frame, walking north on Riverside Avenue. She is 3 blocks from her apartment. Her phone is in her left hand. Her pace is steady. She has walked this route hundreds of times. Headlights appear from behind her. A personal vehicle with fire department decals. It pulls alongside her at 5 miles per hour. The window rolls down. A hand waves. She turns her head. She stops walking. Her shoulders relax. The tension leaves her body. She recognizes the vehicle. She recognizes a uniform jacket. She smiles. She waves back. She reaches for the passenger door. She opens it. She gets in. The door closes. The vehicle accelerates north. It turns left onto Highway 9. It disappears from frame. Total interaction time 37 seconds. But here's what no one noticed until 11 weeks later. For exactly 2.3 seconds, her left hand moves toward her jacket pocket. Her phone. Her thumb hovers over the screen. Then she pulls her hand away. She recognized a trusted face. A uniform. Why would she call for help when help was already there? Jessica did not show up for her opening shift on September 16th. Her manager called 3 times. No answer. Her coworker, Maya, went to her apartment at 2 p.m. Jessica's car was still in row C, space 22. Her apartment lights were off. Maya called 911 at 2:19 p.m. The responding unit arrived at 2:37 p.m. Paramedic Marcus Chen. He took the report. He asked all the right questions. He told Maya not to panic. Said, most missing persons cases resolved within 72 hours. Said she probably went to visit family. He smiled when he said it, reassuring, professional. He left at 3:04 p.m. He drove directly to an abandoned fish processing plant 19 miles outside of town. Jessica was there. She had been there for 13 hours. She was alive. She was restrained. And she was listening to the emergency radio in his vehicle. She heard Maya's missing person report come through dispatch. She heard Marcus respond that he would check it out. She heard him tell dispatch it was probably nothing. Low priority. She heard all of it. That was the point. Here is what happened in those 13 hours. The vehicle turned off Highway 9 onto Industrial Road. No street lights, no businesses, no cameras. Jessica asked where they were going. He said he needed to drop something off. Quick stop at an old warehouse, storage for department equipment. Would only take a minute. She believed him. At 10:47 p.m., the vehicle stopped at the fish processing plant. He got out, walked to her door, opened it, asked her to step out, said he needed help carrying something. Standard favor. She stepped out. The stun gun hit her at 10:48 p.m. She regained consciousness at 11:19 p.m. inside the plant. Metal walls, broken windows, one door locked from outside, wrists zip-tied, ankles bound, tape over her mouth. He sat across from her. He did not touch her. He talked for 5 hours and 12 minutes. He talked. He told her everything when he first saw her. How long he had been watching. Her schedule, her patterns, her fears, her family, her father's address in Portland, her younger brother's name, her brother's college. He told her he could reach any of them whenever he wanted. He told her he had been doing this for a long time. He told her she was not the first. And then at 6:31 a.m., he left. He locked the door. He drove home. He showered. He put on a fresh uniform. He went to work. He took Maya's report. He told her not to panic. Here is what investigators still do not understand. Why did he let her go? At 1:52 a.m. on September 17th, 27 hours after he took her, Marcus returned to the plant. He unlocked the door. He cut the zip ties. He cut the rope. He removed the tape. He handed her a bottle of water. He gave her a prepaid phone with one number saved. 911. He said 3 words. You can leave. Then he walked out, got in his vehicle, drove away. Jessica waited 14 minutes, convinced it was a trap. At 2:06 a.m., she called 911. She gave her location. She gave his name. She said he was a paramedic with the fire department. 2 patrol cars and 1 ambulance arrived at 2:41 a.m. Marcus was arrested at 3:53 a.m. at his residence. He was in his kitchen. When they put the cuffs on him, he smiled. The arresting officer testified that he said only one thing. Ask her if she trusts uniforms now. That is when investigators realized this was never about assault. It was never about murder. It was about power. It was about proving he could reach her any time. It was about making her live with that knowledge forever. Letting her go was the final move. Now she would spend the rest of her life looking over her shoulder. The trial lasted 4 weeks. Marcus was charged with kidnapping, false imprisonment, stalking, misuse of emergency medical databases, impersonating a first responder during commission of a crime. The prosecution presented the photographs, all 1,094 of them, the folders, all 27 of them, the 89 pages. Read into the record one by one, the storage unit. Photographs shown to the jury. His ex-wife, Rachel, took the stand on day 11. She had been subpoenaed. She did not want to testify, but she did. She told the court she had found a folder in 2017. Not 89 pages, just 18. A woman named Claire who worked at the bookstore on Maple Street. Photographs taken through the bookstore window, a schedule of her shifts, a map of her route home. Rachel confronted him that night. He told her she was overreacting. He told her she was jealous. He told her she was unstable. And then his voice got very quiet. He told her if she ever mentioned it to anyone, he knew where her father lived. He knew where her sister worked. He knew the route her nephew took to daycare every morning. She filed for divorce the next week, moved to Seattle the next month, changed her phone number, never looked back, never reported it because who would believe her? He was a Chen, 3rd generation. Everyone trusted the Chens. The jury deliberated 5 hours, guilty on all counts, 21 years, No parole for 14. Jessica gave a victim impact statement. Her hand shook so hard she could barely read it. She said she used to believe uniforms meant safety. She said she used to believe small towns meant community. She said she does not believe any of those things anymore. She said the worst part is not what he did to her. The worst part is knowing he did it because he could, because no one was watching to help us. But here's what the trial did not answer. The folder with 27 women, 1,094 photographs, detailed schedules, maps with camera blind spots marked. What about the other 26? Investigators contacted all of them after the arrest. 22 were located and interviewed. None of them knew Marcus Chen. None of them reported any stalking incidents. None of them remembered anything unusual. A few recalled seeing a fire department vehicle in their neighborhood more often than seemed normal. One remembered a man at the coffee shop who smiled at her a little too long, but nothing concrete, nothing actionable. They were relieved. They were disturbed. They moved on. But 5 of the women in those folders could not be contacted. 2 had moved out of state with no forwarding addresses. 1 had disconnected her phone and deleted all social media accounts 3 years earlier. 1 had changed her name legally and left no trace, and 1 had been reported missing in June 2019. Her name was Claire Barnett, 27 years old, bookstore clerk at Page Turner Books on Maple Street, the same woman from the folder Rachel found in 2017. Claire was last seen leaving work at 9:45 p.m. on June 22, 2019. Her car was found the next morning. Keys in the ignition, purse on the seat. She was declared missing. Case went cold after 11 months. When investigators questioned Marcus about Claire, he invoked his right to remain silent. His lawyer said any connection was circumstantial. No direct link could be established. Case remains open. Claire remains missing. 5 years now. Her father still calls the police every 2 weeks. Here is what keeps investigators awake. Marcus was a paramedic for 11 years in Millbrook. Before that, EMT in another county for 4 years. Before that, security guard at a hospital in Eugene for 3 years. That is 18 years with access to uniforms, emergency vehicles, databases, radio frequencies, security camera locations. 18 years. How many women? How many folders? No other storage unit was ever found. The FBI opened a multi-state investigation in April 2023. They identified 9 additional missing persons cases across Oregon, Washington, and California with similar patterns. Women between 23 and 30, living alone, working evening shifts, last seen accepting ride from someone in a vehicle described as official looking. All cases remain open. No charges filed. Marcus is serving 21 years, eligible for release in 2036. He has not spoken about any other cases. But men like him do not start at 37. Men like him practice. Men like him escalate. Jessica was not his first target. She was just the first one he let go. And the question no one can answer is why. Jessica gave one interview after the trial. 8 minutes. The reporter asked what she wanted people to take away. She paused, looked into the camera, said this. Everyone told me Millbrook was safe. Everyone told me to trust first responders. They were wrong. Not because first responders are bad, but because nowhere is safe if the people supposed to save you are hunting you. I did everything right. I reported the disturbances. I cooperated. I trusted the paramedic who responded. And that paramedic was the one stalking me. What am I supposed to tell my brother now? Trust your instincts, but not too much. Report suspicious behavior, but maybe the person you report it to is a problem. There is no rule that would have saved me because I followed all the rules and I still ended up in that processing plant. The only thing that saved me is that he decided to let me go. That was his choice, not mine. Jessica does not live in Oregon anymore. She does not work in coffee shops. She does not walk alone after dark. She does not tell new people her real last name. She changes her phone number every 4 months. She changes her address every year. She told that reporter she will probably do this for the rest of her life. She said it is exhausting. She said some days she forgets for a few hours. Some days she almost feels normal. Then she sees a fire truck. Then she hears an ambulance siren. Then someone in a uniform jacket holds a door open for her and she flinches. She said sometimes she wonders if this is what he wanted, if the running is part of his design, if she is still trapped in that processing plant somehow even though she walked out of it years ago. The worst part is she knows he thinks about her. He is allowed to send letters from prison. He has never sent one, but she knows he could. He has proven once he knows how to find her. What stops him from proving it again in 2036? Nothing. If you work evening shifts and walk to your car alone. If you accept ride from people you think you recognize. If you believe uniforms mean safety. Jessica did everything right. She reported the disturbances. She cooperated. She trusted the responding paramedic. She got into that vehicle because she had been taught her entire life that emergency responders are safe. And she was wrong, not because she made a mistake, because the system made a mistake because no one was watching. If you have ever had that feeling where something seems wrong, but you cannot explain it, trust it. Jessica had that feeling for 2.3 seconds when her hand moved toward her phone, and she ignored it because she was taught to trust. They are not always the good guys. Sometimes a uniform is a disguise. Sometimes the badge is the weapon. Marcus Chen is in cell block F of the Oregon State Correctional Institution. Model prisoner. No incidents. Works in the prison medical unit. Reads psychology journals. He will be 51 when first eligible for parole. He has time. He has always been patient. That is what his notebook proved. 89 pages over 6 months. He knows how to wait. Jessica knows that, too. 2036 is not far away. Her brother's son will be 16. High school. Walking to his car alone after practice. Maybe working part-time at a restaurant. Maybe closing shifts. Maybe walking home at night through a small town where everyone says nothing bad ever happens. All you can do is tell the story. All you can do is hope someone listens. All you can do is say out loud what everyone is afraid to admit. The system is not designed to catch people like Marcus Chen. The system is designed to empower them. It gives them uniforms. It gives them access. It gives them authority. It gives them the benefit of the doubt every single time. And until that changes, until there is real accountability, until there are real safeguards, until someone is watching the watchers, there will be more folders, more storage units, more abandoned processing plants on dark industrial roads, more women who did everything right and ended up exactly where Jessica did, waiting, hoping, praying that the man in the uniform decides to let them go. If you work in emergency services and wonder why people are afraid of you even when you have done nothing wrong, this is why. Because somewhere right now there's another Marcus Chen wearing a uniform, driving an emergency vehicle, building a folder, memorizing a schedule, and no one is stopping him. No one is even looking.